Well, it was a lot of fun last week for many, many people as the Sprint U.S. Snowboarding Grand Prix took place at Mammoth Mountain. And we're getting some video here from Sierra Wave Media's Rob Gill. But there was some great TV coverage on NBC and NBC Sports Network, giving high accolades to our great ski and snowboard area in the Eastern Sierra. Hey, among the highlights, Mammoth's own Greg Bretz qualified for the U.S. halfpipe team next month's Olympic Games in Sochi, Russia. This will be the second time Bretz will be an Olympian, and also competed in 2010 in Vancouver. As we said, Sierra Wave Media's Rob Gill was on scene. He filed this report.
The U.S. Snowboarding Grand Prix took place at Mammoth Mountain January 16th through the 19th, with 5 Olympic qualifying events in both the halfpipe and slopestyle, culminating in the announcement of the 2014 U.S. Snowboarding Olympic team.
What a big honor it was for us here at Mammoth to have such a big event and have the whole Olympic U.S. team, snowboarding team, named right here. There were hundreds of people out on the slopestyle course and up in the halfpipe almost every day watching this action go down. And all the spectators got to see some really great snowboarding. This was a great thing for us to do in this low snow year, for us to put on an event of this magnitude and have the kind of viewership that we did, both through the live television coverage and the folks that were here watching in person. The athletes were very happy with the courses and the halfpipe, and in fact, they're calling them the best in the country. Yeah, this has been really great for Mammoth at this time of year to have a little boost for some positive news coverage, showing what the mountain looks like, and that we can host an event of this nature.
During the event, Shaun White would clinch his spots on both the slopestyle and halfpipe teams. However, the mostly local crowd was there in support of Mammoth Lakes residents Greg Bretz and Kelly Clark. I caught up with Greg Bretz after he placed 4th in Friday's halfpipe event.
I'm super happy with my performance, you know. I mean, I've landed one of the best runs I ever did in my life, so I can't really ask for anything better.
And what's your award?
It was the first time that I got to link 3 double corks in one run, so that was pretty cool.
Greg Bretz coming out of Mammoth Lakes, California. 10-10 combo. Front side 900. Backside 900. And there's a single cork 1080. And a single cork 1080.
You know what? At the end of the day, I'm super stoked on how I rode. I've been working really hard for it, and I mean, at a point, it's in the judges' hands.
It's pretty cool, you know. Being named to the team is one thing, but being named to the team at your own home resort is even greater, so stoked I'm here.
Yeah, just like Greg, you know, I'm so happy to be home and have the privilege of being named to the team here at my home resort in Mammoth, and I'm just thankful. You know, I never imagined when I was a kid that I had this opportunity this many times, and I think more so than ever, I'm more prepared than I've ever been, and I find that when I'm prepared, I have fun, and that's one of my big goals for this. I want to go to the Olympics, and I want to enjoy myself and do my best snowboarding, so I'm really looking forward to Russia.
Now, you already had the Olympics pretty locked up with all your scores throughout the year, so what inspires you to keep coming out here and performing at such a high level, even though you don't have anything to prove?
You know, the best practice for big events is doing big events. So for me, getting myself in contest situations where I fall first run and have to come back, you know, everything is going to get me ready for Sochi, and, you know, I can do really difficult runs and don't have to be conservative. So basically the whole idea is by the time I get to Sochi, hopefully they won't be as difficult anymore.
Great. And how do you feel about your chances at Sochi?
I just take it one day at a time. I'm working on my snowboarding, and I hope it's enough to get back up on the podium there.
Are you doing any sort of special training or preparation to get ready for it?
I started 4 years ago. That's about as special as it gets.
And will you be competing any more events here at the Grand Prix?
Sure, I'll do the last event, and then I'll head to X Games next week.
And what do we have to look forward to from the Kelly Clark Foundation coming up?
We've got an event at the Westin. We're going to celebrate Team USA, send off to Sochi. It's 6 to 8 on Sunday night. We'd love you to come out. We're going to raise money for my foundation and celebrate a good week here in Mammoth.
Great. And anything else to say to the Mammoth locals who came out and supported you today?
It's great being home. Thanks for all the love and support. Winning's great, but it's even better winning at home.
Well, we thank Rob Gill for that, and we'll have more from the U.S. Snowboarding Grand Prix at Mammoth Mountain later in the broadcast. Well, 2 people from Escondido were arrested in Mono County last week with a variety of drugs. According to a press release from the Mono County Sheriff's Office on January 11th at approximately 10:50 p.m., Mono County Sheriff's deputies conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle traveling northbound on Highway 395 near Walker. According to that press release, Braden Marsh, age 22, of Escondido, and passenger Marissa Sanchez, age 18, also of Escondido, were stopped by deputies on northbound Highway 395 near Hackney Drive in Walker for speeding. Now, as deputies approached the vehicle, the press release states a strong odor of marijuana emitted from that vehicle. Both Marsh and Sanchez were asked to exit the vehicle. Now, the press release states that upon a vehicle search, a black purse was located under the rear passenger seat floorboard containing over 300 grams of concentrated cannabis candies, 4 grams of concentrated cannabis wax, 9 grams of psilocybin mushrooms, 2 blotter tabs of LSD, 5 capsules of ecstasy, 7 grams of marijuana, also a digital scale, multiple plastic packaging bags, and a glass pipe. Now, located along the center console of the vehicle, the press release states, were 2 large glass bongs, and they were also recovered. Marsh and Sanchez were arrested and transported to the Mono County Jail in Bridgeport without incident. Now, the press release states that Marsh was arrested for possession of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance for sale, transportation of a controlled substance, possession of concentrated cannabis, possession of marijuana for sale, and possession of marijuana while driving. Sanchez was arrested for possession of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance for sale, transportation of a controlled substance, possession of concentrated cannabis, and possession of marijuana for sale. Both were taken into custody, again, at the Mono County Jail in Bridgeport, and all charges are pending with the Mono County District Attorney's Office. Well, Bennett Kessler filed this report as bank customers switch to the internet and smartphones to do bank business. Brick and mortar banks lose transaction, and in the case of the Bank of America in Mammoth Lakes, officials say this trend has led to plans to close the branch May 2nd. Now, letters that explain the closure will go out soon, but word has already circulated in town as management leaked the news to customers. Colleen Haggerty of Bank of America Media Relations said that after careful consideration, bank officials decided to close the longtime branch. She said such decisions are, quote, driven primarily by a decline in transactions as customers increasingly rely on other channels such as mobile and online banking, end quote. Now, the decision will mean a loss of local jobs, a loss of services, and for some, a depressing feeling about economic instabilities in a low snow year. Now, Haggerty focused on the use of technology and said, quote, Bank of America customers everywhere are using their mobile phones to log into their accounts 120 million times per month. Deposit $100,000 checks via mobile check deposit every day, and transfer $2 billion per week between their accounts and others, and to pay their bills, end quote. Now, Bank of America's mobile app, she said, is downloaded more than 50,000 times per week. Haggerty explained that the lease at the Mammoth Bank of America will expire in May, and offered a chance to, quote, assess the longevity of the banking center and a timeline for closure, end quote. Now, as an alternative to an in-town bank, customers, Haggerty suggested, can still access all deposits and account services online by mobile phone or at other banking center locations, including in Bishop. She said closure will not impact automatic deposits or bill pay withdrawals. Bank of America will maintain an ATM in town, Haggerty said, for Mammoth residents. Haggerty also confirmed that the 2 bank robberies at the Bank of America last year did not influence the decision to close the branch. We'll be back with more news.